Hello and welcome to another episode of Read with Me. Read with me. Read with me. I am yours truly, Isabel Bedell, and I'm here to read with you. And we are on this amazing chapter. Okay. We are like literally almost through halfway of this book, which is kind of crazy because we just started. There's 21 laws in total. I don't know if you are catching my drift. There is 21 laws for this leadership, and we are here to read number 11, the law of the inner circle. And I am so excited about this one because we personally have an inner circle. Here at Billionaireette, we have the BIC, the Billionaireette Inner Circle. We meet up weekly. We go over the chapters that we've read together. So it actually concretes in to our not only conscious brain, subconscious, but into our physical life. We're on a mission here to impact the lives of billions of souls all over the world through personal and financial freedom. So every single month, because we read 2 books, we're able to get both aspects. Amazing. So this particular chapter right here is going to just unfold the secrets of what our amazing BAC is all about. Shall we begin? I think we shall. All right. A leader's potential is determined by those closest to her. When we see an incredibly gifted person, it's always tempting to believe that talent alone made him or her successful. To think that is to buy into a lie. To think that is to buy into a lie. Nobody does anything great alone. Leaders do not succeed alone. A leader's potential is determined by those closest to him. And what makes a difference is the leader's inner circle. Cyclists are some of the most extraordinary athletes to compete in any sport. To many of us, they seem like freaks of nature. Their sport is grueling, and one of the toughest challenges they face is the Tour de France. It has been compared to running 20 marathons on 20 consecutive days. Racers cover approximately 2,000 miles of often mountainous terrain in a 3-week period. On peak race days, they consume as many as 10,000 calories to provide the energy they need. What most casual observers don't understand is that cycling is a true team sport. They hear all about the winners, but they overlook all the people who help them win. Their fellow racers on the team, their coaches, their tacticians, the sponsors and equipment suppliers, and the entire support staff. Each person brings unique skills to the team, and no one wins unless everyone on the team gives their best. Leaders have to deliver. There is no substitute for performance, but without a good team, they often don't get the opportunity. Their potential is determined by those closest to them. That is the law of the inner circle. The potential is determined by those closest to them. This is why you and I need a team. In recent years, people in the business world have rediscovered the significance of teams. In 1980, the buzzword in business circles was management. Then in 1990s, the emphasis was on leadership. And now in the 21st century, the emphasis is on team leadership. Why? Well, because nobody does everything well. As I began teaching the laws of leadership years ago, I could tell that many people were daunted by the idea of 21 laws, and I understood their feelings. I am a great believer in making things as simple as possible. I have always contended that good communicators take something complicated and make it simple. I would have loved to compile fewer than 21 laws of leadership, but when I boil leadership down to its essence, I still see the 21 things a leader must do well to lead effectively. However, at the same time, I also recognize that no single leader can do all 21 things well. That's why every leader needs a team of people. And as Mother Teresa observed, you can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do, and together we can do great things. That is the power of the law of the inner circle. I love that line. Thank you, Mother Teresa. You can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do, and together we can do great things. No leader rides alone. Not everyone recognizes that those closest to you will make or break you. There are still leaders who hold up the Lone Ranger as their model of leadership, and one of the best illustrations of how unrealistic that ideal of leadership really is can be found in The American Spirit by Lawrence Miller. He states, "Problems are always solved in the same way. The Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion. They come riding into town. The Lone Ranger, with his mask and mysterious identity, background, and lifestyle, never becomes intimate with those whom he will help. His power is partly in the mystique, and within 10 minutes, the Lone Ranger has understood the problem, identified who the bad guys are, and has set out to catch them. He quickly outwits the bad guys, draws his gun, and has them behind bars. And then there was always that wonderful scene at the end where the helpless victims are standing in front of their ranch or in the town square, marveling at how wonderful it is that they have been saved." What baloney! There are no Lone Ranger leaders. Think about it. If you're alone, you're not leading anybody, are you? Leadership expert Warren Bennis was right when he maintained the leader finds greatness in the group, and he or she helps the members find it in themselves. Think of any highly effective leader, and you will find someone who surrounded himself with a strong inner circle. My friend Joseph Fisher reminded me of that as he talked about the impact of evangelist Billy Graham. His success has come as the result of a fantastic inner circle. Ruth Bell Graham, Grady Wilson, Cliff Barrows, George Beverly Shea, they made him better than he ever would have been alone. You can see it in the business, ministry, sports, and even family relationships. Those closest to you determine your level of success. Who are you drawing into your inner circle? Most people create an inner circle of people, and however, they're usually not strategic in doing so. We naturally tend to surround ourselves with either people we like or people with whom we are comfortable. Few people give enough thought to how those closest to them impact their effectiveness or leadership potential. You see it all the time with certain athletes who transition to professional ranks and entertainers who achieve success professionally, and some self-destruct and never reach their potential. And it can often be attributed to the kind of people that they spend their time with. If you watch the Whitney Houston Netflix special, it kills you, because this right here, the kind of people they spend their time with is what attributed to self-destruct. Very clear. To practice the law of inner circle, you must be intentional in your relationship building. You must give thought to the accomplishment of your mission and the success of the people who follow you. Only if you reach your potential as a leader do your people have a chance to reach their potential. As you consider whether individuals should be in your inner circle, ask yourself the following questions. If you can answer yes to these questions, then they are excellent candidates for your inner circle. Do they have high influence with others? One key to successful leadership is the ability to influence the people who influence others. How do you do that? By drawing influencers into your inner circle. That was what I did with Jim at the church in Lancaster, Ohio, who I wrote about in The Law of Connection. Jim was the single most influential person in the organization when I arrived. So by building a relationship with Jim and taking him into my inner circle, I was doing two things. First, I was exerting my influence on him, sharing my values, vision, and philosophy of leadership with him. And I wanted him to be a carrier of the vision to the other people in the organization. And then second, I was finding out what he thought. If he had questions or objections to what I wanted to do, I was able to find out immediately and work through it with him. And because he had so many years of experience with the people in the organization, he often helped me to navigate around potential landmines and I knew nothing about. Number 2, do they bring a complimentary gift to the table? Because of my leadership gifting, I naturally attract leaders. And I'm also highly attracted to leaders. It's said of great baseball hitters that when they get together with other good hitters, all they talk about is hitting. It's similar with good leaders. When they get together, they share their experiences, they ask each other questions, and they test ideas. But one of the best things I have done in my leadership career is to bring a few key people into my inner circle who possess strengths in my areas of weakness. One of those people is Linda Eagers, my assistant. I advise young executives that their first and most important hire should be their assistant. In Linda, I have an absolute gem. She has been working with me for 20 years. She has an incredible mind for details. She is tireless, and like Radar or Riley from MASH, she has the ability to anticipate what I need before I realize it. And that's more. What's more, she knows me so well that she can actually speak to others on my behalf, knowing how I would answer questions at least 90% of the time. That's gold right there. Number 3, do they hold a strategic position in the organization? Some people belong in your inner circle because of the importance of the organization. If you and they are not working on the same page, the entire organization is in trouble. John Hull certainly fits that description in my life. The two organizations he leads for me, Equip and ISS, cannot function without his leadership. Some of the most significant and effective things I'm doing are being accomplished through Equip. The organization has already trained more than 1 million leaders around the globe and is gearing up to train even more. If something were to happen to Equip that took it in the wrong direction, many things in my life would come to a grinding halt. And that's why I have John, who is an outstanding leader, heading up the organization, and why he remains so close to me and in my inner circle. Number 4, do they add value to me and to the organization? I discussed in the Law of Addition how people add, subtract, multiply, or divide when it comes to others. The people in your inner circle must be adders or multipliers. They should have a proven track record as assets to the organization. There is a poem by Ella Wheeler Wilcox that my mother used to recite to me when I was growing up. This is how it goes. There are 2 kinds of people on earth today. Just 2 kinds of people, no more I say. Not the good and the bad, for 'tis well understood. And the good are half bad, and the bad are half good. No! The 2 kinds of people on earth, I mean, are the people who lift, the people who lean. There are 2 kinds of people on earth today. Just 2 kinds of people, no more I say. Not the sinner and faint, for it's well understood. The good are half bad and the bad are half good. No, the 2 kinds of people on earth, I mean, and the people who lift and the people who lean. Look only for lifters for your inner circle. Look only for lifters in your inner circle. Let me say that one more time. Look only for lifters in your inner circle. Inner circle members should also add value to you personally. That's not selfish. If they have a negative effect, they will hinder your ability to lead well, and that can hurt your people and the organization. Someone once told me, it's lonely at the top, and so you had better know where you're there, why you're there. It's true that leaders carry heavy loads, and when you're out in front, you can be an easy target. And that's why I say it's lonely at the top, so you'd better take someone with you. You could be a better companion than someone who lifts you up, not as a yes man, but as a solid supporter and friend. Solomon of ancient Israel recognized this truth. As iron sharpens iron, friends sharpen the minds of each other. Seek for your inner circle who help you improve. Number 5, do they positively impact other inner circle members? I'm a big believer in the team chemistry. And if your inner circle is going to work together and function as a team, then you need to take into account how members interact. First, you want them to have a good fit with one another. Just as members of a champion basketball team have complementary skills and compatible roles, you want each inner circle member to have a place in your life where he contributes without stepping on the other's toes. Second, you want inner circle members to make one another better, to raise one another's game. Sometimes that comes because they encourage one another, and sometimes it happens when they help one another by sharing information and wisdom. And sometimes it comes from friendly competition, no matter how it happens. If they improve the ability of other team members, they also improve your leaders. Identify, cultivate, and recruit. There's one more question you need to ask about potential inner circle members. I did not list it as one of the 5 questions, but because a yes in answer to the question does not automatically mean they should be in your inner circle. So however, a no would definitely mean they should not. The question is this: do they display excellence, maturity, and a good character in everything they do? You will be able to answer that question only once you've gotten to know them fairly well, which means you will probably be selecting inner circle members from within your organization. And in fact, in most cases, you will also need to develop them before they are ready to take their place in that circle. In most cases, you will also need to develop them before they are ready to take their place in that circle. And as you look for people and work with them, take the advice of longtime executive and retired president, CEO, and chairman, Agilent Technologies, Ned Barnholt. He believes there are 3 kinds of people in an organization when it comes to leadership. 1, those who get it almost immediately and they're off and running with it. 2, those who are skeptical and not sure what to do with it. And then there's a 3rd one, who start out negative and hope it will go away. I used to spend most of my time with those who were most negative, said Barnholt, trying to convince them to change. And now I spend my time with the people in the first group, those who get it almost immediately and they're off and running with it. I'm investing into my best assets. Never stop improving your inner circle. I have to admit that I am blessed with an incredible inner circle made up of family members, longtime employees, admired colleagues, and personal mentors. All of them add value to me and help me have an impact beyond what I can personally touch and do. And I'm always on the lookout for people to come into this circle, because I've known since I was 40 that you can go only so far on your own. Once you've reached your capacity in time and energy, the only way you can increase your impact is through others. And every person in my inner circle is a high performer and either extends my influence beyond my reach or helps me to grow and become a better leader. Of course, no leader starts out with a strong inner circle. When leaders take on a new position, they often have to build their inner circle from scratch. That was the case for me in 1981 when I accepted the offer to lead Skyline Church in San Diego, California. The church had a great history, and nationally recognized reputation. It had been founded in 1950s by Orville Butcher, a wonderful man who was retiring after serving there for 27 years. And Dr. Butcher had touched the lives of thousands of people with his leadership. It was a good church, but it did have one problem. It had not grown in years. One of the first things that I did after taking the job was to meet with each staff member to assess individual abilities. Almost immediately, I discovered why the church had flatlined. The staff members were good people, but they were not strong leaders. No matter what I did with them, they would never be able to take the organization to the place we needed to go. In a church of that size, the staff is the leader's inner circle. If the staff is strong, then the leader can make a huge impact. If the staff is weak, he can't. And that is the law of the inner circle. The task that lay ahead of me was very clear. I needed to remove the weak leaders and bring in better ones. And that is a really tough thing to do. That was the only way I would be able to turn the situation around. And mentally, I divided the people into 3 groups according to their ability to lead and deliver results. The bottom third I dismissed right away and began replacing them with the best people I could find. Then I began working on the middle third and top third. The organization immediately began growing, and by the end of the 3 years, all but 2 on the original staff had been replaced by better leaders. And because the inner circle had gone to a new level, the organization was able to go to a new level. And over the years, we tripled in size from 1,000 to more than 3,300 weekly attenders. The growth and success we experienced at Skyline were due to the law of the inner circle. When we had the right staff, our potential skyrocketed. In 1995, when I left, other leaders from around the country sought to hire my key staff members for their organizations. They recognized the power of the law of inner circle and wanted to hire the very best they could find to boost their potential. Lee Iacocca says that success comes not from what you know, but from who you know and how you present yourself to each of those people. There's a lot of truth in that. If you want to increase your capacity and maximize your potential as a leader, your first step is always to become the best leader you can. The next is to surround yourself with the best leaders you can find. Never forget that a leader's potential is determined by those closest to him. That's the law of the inner circle. That's the only way you can reach the highest level possible. Oof, that's strong. Here's how you can apply the law of the inner circle into your life. Number 1, do you know who your inner circle members are? There are the people you seek out for advice, turn to for support, and rely on to help you get things done. If you lead a small staff, all of those employees are also part of your inner circle. List the names of your inner circle members. Next to each name, write what that person contributes. And if you do not have a clear role or function, then write what you believe they have the potential to contribute. Look for the holes and duplications. Then begin looking for people to fill the holes and consider how you might eliminate redundancies, and be prepared to challenge current members with potential to rise to your expectations. Number 2, great inner circles do not come together by accident. Effective leaders are continuously developing current and future inner circle members. How do they do it? They spend time, extra time, with them strategically to mentor them and to develop relationships. They give them extra responsibility and place higher expectations on them. They give them more credit when things go well and hold them accountable when they don't. Examine your list of inner circle members to determine whether you are taking these steps with them. And if not, make changes. In addition, Be sure to use this development strategy with a pool of new potential inner circle members. Number 3, if you lead a large staff, then not everyone who works for you will be part of your inner circle. When should you transition into a smaller inner circle, a sort of team within a team? When your immediate staff members more than 7. When your immediate staff members are more than 7, that's when you should create a team within a team. When you can no longer directly lead everyone, that is when you create a team within a team. And in the volunteer world, when others besides paid staff should be in the inner circle, that's when you create a team within a team. And if this describes your situation, then begin thinking in terms of creating a smaller inner circle group using the same development strategy listed above. That's awesome. That concludes law number 11, the law of inner circle. That's beautiful. If you found value from that, make sure to put it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear how you're able to not only receive in the insights of, these books, but also I would love to know how you're applying what you're learning here. How are you applying all these laws into your life right now? That's the power. You can read something, but if you're not applying it, then it's not going to do anything. This book has been incredible. And just recently, not recently, really, since March. In March, we did a huge sweep and we got rid of like 80% of our staff. We only kept 3. And then we were able to do an even greater sweep. And we were able to get down to 2. And then we replaced the 2 with 1. And then that 1 now has another. So we put a team of maybe 8 down to 2. And that has completely shifted our business to the next level. It has completely revamped our speed, like to the best of our abilities. And I wish I would have done it sooner. And now reading this, it just helped me reconfirm that was a great decision. So I'm really grateful for that. So if you are currently in a position where you might have 1 or 2 maybe VAs, or maybe you have a staff member, but you don't know what to do with that staff member to get yourself to the next level, it's because they're not in a position to foresee what you need. To what he was talking about, his assistant, like she can predict what's happening, what will happen. She can, expect the unexpected and speak on his behalf. And that is gold, like that's eventually how you can clone yourself. I love it. Okay. I wish you the very best. I see a lot of people are getting a lot of benefit from this particular book. If we haven't connected on LinkedIn, make sure to look me up. It's Isabel Bedell. And I'm super excited to see you. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, do what you got to do, share with a friend, share with a family member, share with your inner circle this particular video, so they know that you love them, that they know that you know that they know you love them. Okay, because together you guys can be even more powerful. So I wish you the very best. I'll talk to you soon, and ciao. Bye.